Guys, I've got some 1.9 Beadlocks right here by PowerHobby. We're going to be putting these into some Proline trenchers right here, along with the Flubber Stufferz right here. And I'm also going to show you the brass inserts and the different hubs. I'm going to show you everything and do the full install right here in this video right now. Let's get to that table. Let's start out looking at the wheels I'm going to be using here. These do bolt together from the back side. They have a nice beadlock ring on the outside. Those are bolts, but you don't have to take them out. So yeah, you can save a lot of time on that. But the wheels, simple 3-piece design. And here we have the optional brass rings right here. These add quite a bit of weight inside the wheel. Now, if you're going to be using something with a lot of power, a lot of wheel speed, with a lot of sharp turning, a heavier wheel is going to create more chatter, and that can actually cause issues. However, let's go ahead and weigh these in versus the aluminum ones. The aluminum rings come in at 0.8 ounces. That is 23 grams. The brass comes in at 2.6 ounces or 73 grams. Pretty big jump in weight right here. The inserts I'm using for this are the triple stage Flubber Stufferz by FLUBRC. Absolutely gorgeous print job. They really do well. Look at this, they're directional. So you can run them like this to get one action of the tire tread. You got to be going slow to notice all this. We can turn it the other way and go the other way. So this would be more like a driver preference kind of a thing. But you can see the outside engages and then you get to the double inside. Very nice inserts. Let's talk about tires real quick. Not all tires have the same beads. A lot of tire manufacturers that have their own wheels kind of have a proprietary bead design, okay? Now, take these J Concepts right here, for example. You can see there's a lip, like a step lip right here, okay? Now here you have some Duratracs. They have a similar but not quite as pronounced step on this one. Now the Prolines right here, they don't have any lip at all. Now what this does is some wheels will work fine with this, not with this. Some beadlocks have more room to work with this. So when you mount one of these up on here with the step lips, they're going to bead up so beautiful, so nice, so easy. However, the wheel can actually spin because it's not gripping the beadlock enough, or it'll actually peel out of the beadlock. I've experienced all of that. So yeah, not all tires are created equal. We have 3 different brands right here, and as you just saw, all 3 brands are different. First thing you're going to do is you're going to insert the insert. And these are very durable, they're waterproof. You can just simply do anything you want with these and they're going to take it. So let's see, now I want to have these set up correctly for each side. And as you can see, I have that arrow which is telling me where it is at the top, okay? So this one would have to go on the passenger side. So that's how we're going to set up the wheel. As I showed earlier, I'm using these, not these. So these just simply go right on in. And you see, I do vent the tires. The reason is if I'm going to spend money on this type of an insert, dual stage foam, anything, I want the foam or insert to do exactly what it's meant to do. Now, if I was a mud bogger, if I was a mudder and I did all kinds of stuff like that, there would not be any holes here. I would make sure the tires are as sealed as possible. With the brass inner ring in place, do you see that arrow? That lets me know that everything is in the proper direction, so I put this on the proper side. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to make a big difference whether one was reversed or whatnot, but maybe we'll have to give that a try. When setting this into place, sometimes they set in nice and easy. I try to get the little protector bead of the tire, just like this. This doesn't always work though. Different wheels, different tires, they're all set up differently. Putting this into place, we got to make sure we get all of this just right. Again, the exact same way. Now these Flubber Stuffers, they're a little bit wider at the base as compared to some of the other ones that I've messed with, and maybe that'll help keep the inner insert from shifting side to side. Now obviously wheel width, all that stuff makes a difference. Now you see this right here, you got to compress and get that to go all the way in there. There are a few ways you can do this. One, you can start with longer bolts, or you can do like a paint core. I put this on something like this and I just simply press down until I can get the bolt started, something like that. Or you also have like beadlock buddies, and that would be something like this right here. And this can really make some of these jobs super easy. And what this does is it just simply pulls the wheels together. Hopefully we can see that the bolts are close enough that you can actually get them started. Got to make sure you have these things aligned. And when you do, look at that. It just started that beautifully there. And I usually always start these by hand. I never start these by drill. Although that doesn't mean I won't use a drill on these. But now that we've got two in, we can actually take the beadlock buddy, which this particular version is by DSM Off-Road. So now that I've got that on, let's take the beadlock buddy out. And let's finish the last two bolts here. And this works on 6-bolt wheels, all that as well. There's 3, so if you set this up on a 6-bolt wheel, you'll at least have 3 that you can actually get started. So that's always a nice thing to have. Now that I've got this started, I want to look around, make sure everything at least appears to be seating correctly. It looks pretty darn good. When assembling these, I always do these by hand. At least the first one, you know, and you don't pull these down all the way. Do not pull them down all the way. If you're familiar with mechanics like tightening up a head or even an actual wheel lugs, you kind of skip a hole or a lug and go with it. And this may take a few rounds. It may take a few rounds to get you everything set up. But as you're doing this, as you're getting this pulled down, because that has to go all the way, you want to make sure that the bead isn't coming out of the bead lock. I mean, granted, it'll probably work okay, but it's gonna look kind of bad. And if you happen to be one of those guys that makes videos on the YouTube, yeah, you really need to have things looking at least somewhat good. In my case, I try to get my tires to be right. My biggest issue is wiring. Wow, I cannot keep things wired neatly. My excuses don't count, but I do swap a lot of electronics, and I go through quite possibly 1,000 of the little zip ties about every 3-4 months. I got to reorder zip ties. Now at this point, the wheel has actually came all the way together. You can tell that because the bolts are stopping pretty good. Really good, solid feel here when this comes together. Like, for real. And now that we've got that, let's go ahead and go through, look, check the bead of this. Looks really good. Now, with the slightly larger, fatter insert, it feels like there's not going to be any side shift in here. That's always a good thing. And one of the reasons why you don't want any side shift, especially on a crawler, is oftentimes the steering knuckles are going to be kind of up close. So if the insert adjusts, and they usually adjust to the inside, you'll actually can rub and tear a hole in the sidewall of your tire. One thing to always check is to make sure that you have all of these bolts kind of tight. If not, they absolutely will come loose. So now that we're through this, let's check out the hubs. With this shot right here, we can see the different hubs, the different thicknesses. This is the 6mm thick hub. You can see right there. The hub that came on the wheel is a 9mm hub, and the optional 12mm hubs. Now what these do is these adjust the track width, or the width of the wheels themselves. Let's try this right here. Like say with the 6mm hubs, this is how wide it is. You put the 9mm hubs, now you have this, and the 12mm hubs can give you that. What these are meant for you to tune your wheels and tires to your vehicle for hub clearance, knuckle clearance, and things like that. So that's what they're meant for. If you go too far out with wideners, you really change and mess up. You really mess up a lot more than what you think you're getting out of it. I know, oh, it's side hills, so nice. Yeah, but you know, you went from a proper turn of this to something like this. No, I don't run wideners for that reason. However, if I need clearance so I don't destroy my tires, or clearance for the knuckles, portals, things like that, I will use a wider hex. The vehicle of choice to test these on is going to be the new SCX10 Pro right here. When you're in competition, extra width can really hurt you, even though a little extra width is fine for side hills. However, this right here, I want to show you guys this. This right here is the biggest corner that you need to worry about as far as your wheels or tires getting into this stuff right here. So let's try some stuff out on that. The rear, I will put the most thinnest hubs, the 6mm hubs is what it is, on here, just because there's nothing here to get into, and it'll help me get through gates. Looking at the front of this thing, I want you guys to see this. Hopefully you can. There is clearance there, quite possibly 2 or 3 millimeters. Now, with the Flubber Stufferz and printed inserts and all that, you generally have very little to zero side roll of the tire. So this is probably going to actually clear just fine. So that's nice to see. The other side is almost always, if you clear this side, you're going to clear that side. I have the 6mm on the rear, and it's going to be hard to really tell the difference here, but I'll do what I can. You can definitely tell that this is narrower right here. It's definitely, you can notice it by me, but that's just me doing my thing. And yes, Barbarian Scaleplex right there. And there we have it. Now you can already see they're already kind of dropping a little bit, but they still look a little bit firm. As this thing climbs and puts the weight on these sides, the tires, and all of this, corners, that's really going to make a big difference. So probably not going to be able to tell much of a difference here on width. No, not really much at all there. However, there is a bit of a difference. And I do want to point out something. If we look at right here, do you see this? You know what that's for? This is so while you're doing your crawling driving, because this is a competition truck, you don't want to get any rocks up into here. So therefore that is actually kind of tight. The front doesn't have that. However, if you make the turn, look, there we are. So very smart design. Very nice design right here. Mounting tires on beadlock wheels isn't all just a simple little thing. Sometimes you do run into issues, so therefore I was able to show you a few different tires, maybe run a few scenarios, try to take you through the exact steps that I take when I mount mine. Hopefully this video was helpful. Guys, in the description, I'm going to link all this stuff up down below. Make sure you check them out. AMAN, eBay, Amazon, and Horizon helps out the channel when you guys use them. So you know what? Now, I get to take this thing out, take it for a drive. Those are some seriously silver wheels. Guys, check that description. Use those links. Hit that subscribe. Ring that bell. You guys are awesome. Especially if you're still watching at this point. Catch you later. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see. Also for channel memberships, if you guys want to be a part. Channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.